Well, hello there. Good to see you. I went into school last week and it felt good. The first time I'd been in such a long time. And when I got in, the first thing I saw, believe it or not, was the box of socks that a lot of you had helped to fill during our Read Across America celebration for our Fox and Socks sock collection. So right away, I decided we have to get those to people who need them. So we got them into a big, giant black plastic trash bag, and we were able to get that to the rescue mission this weekend. So a lot of people are going to be able to have some new socks thanks to you boys and girls. That brings us to our positive affirmation for this week. Our positive affirmation is, I can change the world. And just by doing something simple like that to help other people makes a big difference in other people's lives. So thank you for your generosity. Joke of the day. What did the Dalmatians say after lunch? Wow, that hit the spot. Get it? Dalmatians have spots. Silly. We do have some birthdays I want to acknowledge. We have a birthday with Asmar. Happy birthday to you and Mr. Smith's third grade class. And Riley's birthday in Miss Timmons' class. So happy birthday to you too. And then we have some summer birthdays that I know I would love to acknowledge, since we may not be doing this in the summer as much. So let's go with Victoria and Mrs. Willett's class. Happy summer birthday. And Aliana and Miss Timmons' class. Happy summer birthday to you. So Friday, your assignment on Google Classroom or on my webpage was to name 3 things you would see in Sam's room. So you had to really think about what you've been hearing in the All About Sam stories, each video, and really imagine what would be in his room. Guess what the number 1 answer was? Worms. And I can tell, if you said worms, you've probably watched quite a few videos. But a lot of people said things like the mobile. Remember that was hanging over his crib in the pantry? So I can kind of gauge what video you're watching based on what you said was in Sam's room. Here were some other popular answers. Toy trucks, remember, with the moving men. The box of diapers that he talked about. His airplane book that he ran to get. His crib or his big boy bed, depending on what video you're watching. The itchy sweater from back when he was a baby. His teething pretzel could have been one. And a lot of people said his family would be in his room. And that's probably true too. So great job. You'll have another mini assignment like that coming up on this Friday. And it will just require you to watch the videos and then answer a question, thinking and using your imagination on what you've learned about Sam so far. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to talk about our relaxation technique of the week. And remember, boys and girls, that communicating in a peaceful way with someone is another way to relieve stress and anxiety. So I'm going to take you right over to something you might remember from school. Yep, it's our I statement. And if you've been using your I statements when you're talking with your family or your siblings or your cousins, if you're spending time with anybody else, it's a great way to keep everybody calm and explain to them how you feel. So remember, the first thing you do is say the person's name. Then you continue with the word I. I feel. Tell them how you feel. What did they do that made you feel that way? So I want you to tell them what you want them to do now. Remember when we were acting with Sally, Sally was cutting in front of me in line all the time, and I had to give her an I statement instead of being too aggressive and maybe pushing her or yelling at her. I became assertive, and I wasn't passive because I needed to let her know how I feel. So I said, Sally, I feel upset. when you cut in front of me in line. So I want you to go to the end of the line. And it worked. Sally realized she wasn't thinking about my feelings. She was just thinking about herself. And once she thought about my feelings, it made a big difference. And everybody was able to handle it and fix it and solve it in a calm way. So we are ready to get in today's All About Sam. Last time you were listening, you might remember that Sam was getting very frustrated talking about his curls. He wasn't happy with the curls in his hair. So you were starting to surmise that something might happen because you saw a little pair of scissors at the beginning of the chapter. Well, let's see if you were right. Sam could hear his parents talking quietly downstairs. He could hear the television news in the background. If he went down to where they were, they would make him be quiet while they watched the news and talked. So he wandered into the bathroom instead. If he stood on the closed toilet seat, he could open the medicine cabinet, and there was some interesting stuff in there. First, he took out his dad's shaving cream and pushed the button on top so it foamed out into his hands. He smeared it on the bottom of his face so that he had a beard. Then he closed the medicine cabinet and leaned over so that he could see his white-faced beard in the mirror. He giggled. Still wearing that foam beard, he opened the cabinet again. This time he noticed his mother's perfume. He sprayed it across his chest and he sniffed. Next, he thought he would try the hairspray. But as he reached for it, he noticed a small pair of scissors that his father used to trim his beard. Sam wondered if you could trim a foam beard. So he fit his fingers into the scissor handles and he tried. But it didn't work very well. Part of his beard fell into the sink. He closed the mirror door again and looked at himself to see if his beard was still okay, even if a piece had fallen off. But when he looked, he found himself looking more at his hair than his beard. He found himself looking at those curls, those darn curls. And very carefully, he reached up with the scissors and snipped at a curl. It fell into the sink on top of the foam. Where the curl had been, there was now a small tuft of hair. It was sticking straight up. He stared at it. It was the beginning, he realized, of a punk haircut. He snipped another curl and watched it drop into the sink, and another. He began to wonder whether, when he finished, he would be able to figure out how to make a little tail at the back. He snipped again. 20 minutes later, through the closed bathroom door, Sam could hear his mother's footsteps coming up the stairs. Whoa. Did you predict he was going to snip those curls off? Well, now you know Mom's heading up the stairs. What's going to happen? If you think about what you know from the past in this story, has Sam's mom reacted with great anger? Or does she usually take a situation and kind of turn it into a little life lesson to teach Sam about what he should and shouldn't do? Well, tune in next time and you'll find out.